there's people that are going to listen to this and be excited by that, which is cool. And there's other people that are going to say there's no way. And I welcome that. I welcome it all. Like, tell me I can't do it. Tell me it's not possible. You know, like that's a beautiful thing. You know?
It seems to me that Brian Shaw may be underestimating the power of LEVAN SAGINASHIVILI. In this interview, Hafthor asked Brian his future goals in arm wrestling, and straight away Brian said this: I would be lying to you if I said that the goal is not to be the best, and that's just the truth. I don't think my brain can work any other way. This right there is a completely logical statement. I mean, look at Brian Shaw, look at his physique, look at his size, and look at his accolades in strongman competition. If he cannot expect from himself to become the #1 arm wrestler in the world, then nobody else should. Brian has all the logic and all the reason in the world to think so, because he has all the physical and mental attributes to become the best. But then Brian Shaw said this.
Because look, I'm not going to say it's next month or maybe not even next year, right? Like, or the year after. But
so this is the statement which I think is a little bit overestimation of either his own strength or an underestimation of LEVAN SAGINASHVILI's strength, or whoever the best guy in the world is at that time. Because by the way, he said that maybe not even next year or the year after. It looks like Brian is already thinking that 2 years is a long enough time, pretty decent time I would say, to become the best guy in the world. And it isn't. It may sound a little bit harsh, but I will say I'll be really surprised and borderline shocked if in 2 years from now Brian Shaw is able to beat Irakli Zerakashvili. Forget about LEVAN SAGINASHVILI. That's just not going to happen. But one thing that Brian has managed to do is to create suspense around the level of his arm wrestling. Yes, we saw him arm wrestle against Eddie Hall, and to be honest, in that practice pool, he didn't look that strong. But still, on a larger scale, we don't really know how strong Brian Shaw is because he hides his practice pulls. And that wasn't the case with Larry Wheels or even Hafthor Bjornsson for that matter. Within a few weeks or months, we already knew what kind of level they are at, but not the same with Brian Shaw. If I know a little bit psychology, I've seen that people hide things only in 2 cases. 1, they're too good at it. 2, they're too bad at it, or at least not as good as they would like to be. I don't think Brian Shaw is too good at arm wrestling, and I don't think he's too bad at arm wrestling. So I'm not really sure why he hides the practice pulls. Initially, I was thinking that, well, Brian showed similar kind of interest in MMA too, and see where that's gone now. But that opportunity was taken away from him. That match couldn't happen not because of Brian Shaw, but because of some other reasons. And I don't see similar things in the arm wrestling community, so let's hope he's in it for a long run. Devon Larratt started his weight cut for this Oleg Petrenko title match from 123 kilos, and right now he's at 116 kilos. Many of us were thinking that maybe Devon won't be able to make weight because he's still so heavy, needs to lose 11 kilos. But Devon did mention that that was exactly his plan. His plan was to be around 114 or at max 115 kilos just a few days before the match. From there he will water weight cut. And according to him, things have been going perfectly according to the plan. Oleg Petrenko, on the other hand, is the biggest that he has ever been. First time in his life, he was 110 kilos and he started his weight cut from there. He's already at 107, just needs to cut a couple of kilos more. Oleg also mentioned that his best shape in his career was in the Kidargali Ongarbayev match and not in the David Dadikian match. He was dominant there too, but the Ongarbayev shape was something different. And even since then, he has improved about 5 to 10%. Initially, I was thinking that maybe Oleg doesn't know how to calculate these percentages, or he's lying. There is no way he can improve like 10% in such a short amount of time. But then I guess he was talking about the weights that he's lifting in the gym. All of the weights have gone up, and that's where we have seen this 5 to 10% increase. His plan for winning this match is to execute a perfect fast top roll, easy wins 4 times in a row. But if the match gets stuck somewhere, he has prepared for a war. He has trained himself to develop a flop press, and since the John Brzezinski match, his flop has also improved at least 15 to 20%. Devon has warned Petrenko that he will be giving him the same treatment that he gave to Pushkar in 2012 on the left arm. He will make him quit. So Devon's advice was to sleep with the belt, spend as much time as he wants with the belt, because after the match he won't be seeing it for at least 5 more years, and in that time, meanwhile, he should be thinking about becoming the 95 kg world champion. But after 5 years, Devon will take that title away from him too. Thanks for watching, like the video and subscribe.